Okay, so I'll say this. If it's one last thing, Coco, that you want to leave with the people, like one last cheat code, what would you give them?
Yeah. You want a knowledge of where your history is, the Black culture, where you would come from. I want that too. I love that too. I love learning about that. Where did I come from? My family, my daughter, her background. I've dug into all of that. So I think that it's so good to look into that knowledge and have that. There's nothing wrong with that. How is the evil white man trying to fuck you up? Here's how he's trying to fuck you up. Trying to fuck with your mental. He keeps you distracted and angry about those injustices and where did you come from and what happened, while he's over here setting up systems with the anger and the pain and the injustice. Exactly. And don't fall for that. Don't fall for that, right? So I'm not trying to downplay that, but what I don't want to see happen is that you don't realize
you get lost in
how those corporations are over here being so successful while you're being distracted.
This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water, like Noah made the ark. This is a man's world.
It's your boy Naughty G.
It's your boy King Rob. And before we talk about anything, right? Let's just cut right to the chase and talk about what's here on the table, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first time for me and Chico. Very first time this has ever happened.
Yeah,
no one has really ever brought us any gifts. So this is really exciting. She brought us a mystery bag.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything before we unravel
So
them?
if you want to open, so these are the gifts and this is the gifts too. So if you want to open them, and then I'll explain to you what this is. So
COCO the car queen. Okay. COCO the car queen. You want to do it at the same time?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, let's see.
What we got here?
So you all are getting the.
Hold on. The wrapper smell good too.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
Hold on.
No, this dope.
Wow.
Yes.
That's nice.
Wow.
Oh,
So that's why I said hold off on the wine.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because you got yours.
That's dope right there.
See this, man.
And I brought mine.
Hey.
Let's get it.
The party's getting started.
Hey. Nah, that's nice though.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think we got our own cups now.
We got our official
We got our own official Chico cups right here.
Like, I don't know how to act.
this is yours too.
It's a lion. That's nice. I like this.
And now,
Now
I'm like, wait, how do you open this?
We done upgraded. We done upgraded. Nah, this dope.
This is
I like
official,
this.
man.
Yeah.
I'm drinking out of this today.
Me too. I ain't gonna do it all day today.
You take these
That's
off of the
awesome.
table.
Yeah, all day today. That's nice. I like this. Okay. Hold on, I don't even need this no more.
That's what I'm saying. I took them off. Yep.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. I'm
for
so glad
sure.
you guys like it. That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, no, this is our first gift,
So now
and it's
every
actually
episode
useful.
you watch, you'll see us.
Like this. Shout out to Coco.
Yes.
Coco.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay,
Nah, that's
so
dope.
Wow.
I'm
She
so
has that one
excited.
good.
Now I put this in here. I'm like, wait, how are
Did
y'all?
you make
how are
these,
y'all?
or?
No, I ordered this.
Oh, okay.
I ordered this online. So
Okay.
you all are getting the first sneak peek of what my gifts are going to be for customers who buy cars from
Oh,
me
dang. Okay.
for February. This is the exclusive gift.
Oh, man. So
Okay.
we...
And she got us
And it comes with
I like this.
the first official
Comes with
version.
this.
Oh, hold on.
Wait a second.
She's showing out. She's showing out. Hold on, let me. I want to throw mine on right now. Hold on, what size you got though? I like. Okay, yeah. And she, how you know my size?
I hope it is.
I'm wearing mine right now.
Man, this is crazy.
Nah, y'all gotta step the game on. Y'all gotta step the game.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. She just set a new bar.
Yeah, high bar for men cheat code.
Oh my
You
gosh,
can't
this
come
is
on
so
the show,
fun.
man, unless
This
you-
is so
you
fun.
gotta- This is amazing. Look
I love it. Thank you.
Fear of
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and it's representative of what we do too.
Yes,
our mentality.
exactly,
Mentality,
exactly.
man.
That's why I said when I saw your video, when I saw your clip on Facebook, I'm like, this resonates with me.
Yeah.
Because y'all are just putting yourself out there, and that's what I decided to do.
For sure.
I just decided to start doing the branding thing, and it took so much mentally to get prepared.
Right.
So that's why I decided to do this this theme, right?
Yeah.
I saw this I
Fear of
got this
feast.
app where I can start designing stuff like this, where I design my logos and make t-shirts for myself. And then I saw this, like the lion, I was like, fear or feast. Like at the end of the day, you have two options.
Yeah.
You can fear what other people are saying about you, what they think about you,
Right.
all the little judgments they're making about you. And at the end of the day, when you live in that fear, you lose.
Right, yeah, for
You
sure.
lose.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And that's
Too
deep.
dope. And she opened the show up
Man, came
like
over.
with like an atomic bomb.
I know
went off.
season 2 is crazy.
An atomic bomb just went off on the show right now.
Man.
And because it's a lot. Number one, to be thoughtful enough
Yeah, for sure.
to even think about doing something like
Right.
this, and then creative enough to put it together, and then to execute it, to go and spend your own money
Yeah.
and make
Yeah,
this
yeah,
happen.
for sure.
And
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
like this is crazy dope, and it's
I love it. Thank you.
like
Fear feast.
Coco, you have no idea how much this means to
thank
us.
you.
Where can people reach you? Reach you out. Reach out to you. Sorry about that.
Let's start
Where
with
can
that.
they reach
Yeah.
out to
Let's
you?
start with that.
For like cars and stuff.
Yeah.
For
thank you.
cars, for
Anything.
even like stuff like this. I mean,
Motivation, because what you just said was deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Where can
you.
they reach out to you?
So car wise, I just started. I've been in the car business for a couple of years, but I just started at Lou Back Road, which is
Okay.
over by the mall.
Okay.
So
Here in
that's
Rockford, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I'm doing my thing for cars and
Okay.
trying to make a difference there in the way customers are treated and the buying experience.
Okay.
And like I told you, it was like with this technology, it's kind of all new to me.
Right.
So as far as reaching out to me and finding me, I'm starting on Facebook making videos, but I started on TikTok too,
Okay.
making videos. So it's still all new to me, but
Yeah.
I am excited to be able to do things like this and talk to you guys and be
Right.
with people who are on the same wavelength of like, let's start making conversations, making
Right.
changes, and reaching
yeah.
out to each other.
And that's dope. No, I
And being a
appreciate
part of the community as well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Being a part of the
Exactly.
community while doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Real
No.
quick, I just want to make sure. Do you prefer Nicole? Do you prefer Coco?
I'm going back. I prefer COCO.
Coco.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on my shirt, so we got to call it Coco.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So Coco, let's give you the proper introduction.
Thank you.
We'll start there, but again, you just an atomic bomb you just let off
Yeah, for
on the
sure.
show, so we
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I'm really speechless.
Me too.
Really speechless. I can't lie to you. I'm really speechless. But with that being said, again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in for another edition of Me and Cheat Codes.
Yes, sir.
With us today, we have a very, very special guest, as you guys can see and already
she's
tell.
showing out already.
A very, very special guest. I don't know if there's anybody who. It's a lot of people that watches the show and that supports the show, but I don't know if there's anybody who really put forth this much thought
Yeah, for sure.
into the show.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Nicole, we want to give it to you and allow yourself to introduce yourself, because who knows you better than yourself, right?
Yeah, thank you.
So go ahead and let the people know, just number one, your name, your background, where you're from, and how we got to today.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. So Nicole is my birth name, obviously. Coco is a nickname from childhood. That's what my family has always called me since as long as I can remember.
Right.
And I literally don't even remember though where exactly it came from.
Yeah.
It's just they've always called me Coco. So
Okay.
but growing up, I didn't have friends who called me Coco. So coming out and deciding to launch the brand as Coco the Car Queen and introducing myself to people who like, this is my nickname
Yep.
Right.
from
right.
just my family.
Yeah.
So being vulnerable
Yeah,
like that is
right.
like, oh, it was a lot to
Yes.
start off. So,
Yes.
but now that I've done it and the feedback I get where people like resonate, oh, Coco, they love it immediately because
It fits you really well. Like it just does. I can't explain it, but it fits you
Thank
perfectly.
you.
I really do.
probably because it's been since childhood.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
what everyone's called
yeah.
me. So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, the way people have just like embraced it, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I'm having so much fun.
Right.
how I got started doing the branding thing, how my wheels got turning there is the dealership I was working at before Lubac Road. They started planting those seeds about, hey, you guys should be branding yourself. Try to set yourself apart, make yourself different.
Right.
So they actually flew me out to a conference in Atlanta this past summer, to where I got to meet with someone who was really actually doing it, like had helped several people in the car business become successful branding and marketing themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's when my eyes were open. I'm like, wow, you can have a lot of success doing this if done the right way, and people will be really receptive to it. So my mind started opening up to all the different possibilities that truly were available, and buying into it more.
Right.
Prior to that conference, I was buying into it, had already started developing, like, what would my brand look like.
The seed was planted, just being watered over time. And it just continues to grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a child, what made you was this like the goal for you, or was it something else? Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Okay. So as a child, what was your goal?
So growing up, I think about that a lot, and where I've come from. I didn't get a lot of direction in terms of, hey, go to college.
A word?
No. But you got to keep in mind, I'm in my 40s.
Oh, you look good though. You look good.
I'm in my 40s.
You look good.
20s.
Yeah, you look good. Yeah.
20s, like you just graduated college. That's like,
Yeah, for sure.
literally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you can pass as
Thanks.
if you were like being casted for a movie, you could
Yeah.
play
That would be
college,
awesome.
for sure.
Or if you just hung out with us, they'll think you are.
That's
You know?
right.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you said how was childhood growing up? How was your childhood life?
It was different.
Yeah.
I didn't live a normal childhood like I shared with you. So I grew up in a very, very small town. Spring Grove, if anyone knows it, it's maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours from here. It's on the border of Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
So very, very, very small town.
Yeah.
So now we're going back almost, about 40 years.
Okay.
No black people in that town. I want to set the tone really for you guys to understand where it came from.
Right.
So I'm in a small town. Not a single black person lives in that town. And my dad was a hustler. He built a very, very successful business. So did my grandfather.
Right.
My aunts, my uncles followed suit.
Right.
So the examples that I saw growing up were a lot of hustlers, entrepreneurs. They were making moves and very, very successful. So because of that, I did have a wealthy childhood.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like you see in
Yep.
the picture I sent, I grew up with tigers and lions because my family owns like a wildlife
Damn, that's crazy.
preserve.
Yeah, I know,
right?
Yeah.
So that was just me, like the picture I sent you guys on
Yeah.
the message.
Yeah.
That was like me, my grandma, my cousins, we were all on our way to the pool.
Right.
And my grandma's like, oh, hey, let's just swing by the wildlife preserve, go hang with the animals real quick. So I'm walking that tiger on a leash like it's a,
Oh man, yeah.
like our pet. Like,
Yeah. You was never scared?
well, you see me in the picture, I'm kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
a
it's
little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit, but at the same time, you get used to it. So
Right.
my uncle, who was one of the big ones who was propelling the family business
Right.
with the animals, when I was 5 years old, he was taking 6 feet long snakes because he was really into all of the
Yeah.
animals and wrapping them around me.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Yeah, and being like, no, don't be scared. And I'm like freaking out. And he's like, no, don't be scared.
Yeah, that's
You'll be
very-
fine.
yeah.
You're safe.
Yeah.
Or bringing a monkey. Bringing a
man.
monkey over for me to hold.
Yeah, wow.
That's different for real.
That's really, really
Yeah.
different and unique and amazing. And I really appreciate you for setting the tone the
Yeah.
way you set the tone, because I think for our audience and especially for this show, I want people to understand how vast the distance is on that spectrum of society,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. One person can grow up with lions and tigers and bears,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
someone else grows up with rats and roaches
Yeah.
and despair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna make for an awesome show because And I'm sure you know, as a businesswoman, as a professional, I believe, and you tell me, but I believe the best ideas are the ones that involve the most diverse group of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna make for a great show today.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you said it was no black people. Did that like
Yeah.
kind of affect your way of like upbringing or whatnot? Like in school, was there any black people there? Or?
No.
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 Yeah.
So I'm glad you asked that, because I look back and I think it's so interesting to my childhood, what I went through, right? Like you're saying, we're going to fast forward and see how vast the differences are, but how we actually are all
All the same,
connected.
exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
For sure.
So childhood, right? Growing up in this very small town with no black people, you would think essentially I have no exposure. However, my grandparents, they helped a lot of kids who were in need, and they ended up adopting my aunt, who was mixed.
Okay.
She's mixed, and she's only about a year older than me.
Okay.
So I got to grow up with,
Right.
someone who wasn't the same color as me, who was
Right.
part of my family. So I
Right.
came from a family unit
Right.
that believed in love and unity,
Got it.
that
Right.
Yep.
that lived this.
Absolutely.
Right. So I didn't come from a background of, hey, those people are different.
Yep.
We're
Right.
going to
Okay.
treat them
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
So my family gave that example to me, like everyone, we got to help everyone.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got to grow up, with her, and I looked up to her so much. Like, I just thought she was so cool and so fun. And you want to hear a stupid story?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
When her and I were little, I kept asking her, like, how could I be black like her?
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she ever give you an answer?
She told me go drink some coffee.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
She messed with me.
That's
it's all
wild.
good. She messed
That's
with me.
Wild. That's wild. Because it's funny
that's
that you
funny,
say
though.
that. It's
That's
really
funny.
funny that you say that. Let me ask you this. Have you heard of the comedian Cat Williams?
Oh yeah,
And
of
you've seen
course.
it? Okay. All right. So the reason why I bring that up is because of the joke that you just mentioned, right? I think some people can find that offensive, and it
Sure.
may very well be. But when you think about society and you think specifically comedians, right?
Mm-hmm.
They make light of these things all the time, and it's funny, right? So I think again, this is gonna make for a great show because I believe I already know that like we're all open minded enough
Yeah, for
to
sure.
have
Yeah.
a raw
Yeah, for sure.
and real and authentic conversation
Yeah.
like that, and not to go about it in a way that's offensive to anyone.
Right.
Yeah, for
you know what I
sure.
mean? And so
Absolutely.
I just want to make sure that our audience is aware of that
Yeah.
this is a podcast,
Yeah,
right?
it's family, man. If you
Yeah.
watch Man Chico's, it's family. So it's
Yeah.
like if you joke around with your brothers and sisters about stuff like the coffee shit.
Yeah.
To me, that's funny because
Exactly.
Yeah.
me and my family, we roast every day.
Yeah.
So
And I can't lie, like
Yeah.
my mother. So it's funny again, like some of the things you speak on, because in a way I come from a mixed family a little bit,
Okay.
like not necessarily, but like in terms of like my brothers. I have a brother that has a mixed race family,
Okay.
right? So he was dating and ultimately had children with a white woman, and it's perfectly fine, right? So they have mixed children. And then I have a little sister who also has a mixed race relationship. She's
Okay.
dating a Hispanic man.
Okay.
And they also have a child together.
love it. I
And
love it.
expecting
That's
child
awesome.
number 2, by the way. Shout out to my little
yeah,
sister.
shout out, shout
That's
out.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm ready to meet my new niece.
Aw.
We love you.
Congratulations.
And we love
That's
you. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, for sure.
But so I'm saying all that to say again that that kind of stuff is important because it helps shape you, right? It prevents you from having like this one-sided type
Yeah.
of viewpoint on the
Absolutely.
world and on people.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what makes humans.
Yeah.
When we just know that, like, at the end of the day, like, we have differences, right? But those are socially constructed, and
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are people making these decisions to treat other people a certain way. But
Yeah.
when you really get down to, like, the core of it all,
Yeah.
we're all just
Yeah.
people, right?
And keep in mind context. Context is for kings.
Right.
So what was the background in that conversation? We were like 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Exactly.
these are 5 and 6-year-old
Exactly.
conversations,
Yeah,
and where did it come from?
Who knows?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't
but
even
that's
know.
what makes it good and funny and
Yeah.
genuine.
It's
Like,
Like, genuine, yep.
like because she don't despise you or hate you that she said that. She just like
Right.
drink some coffee.
Exactly.
You know, you're young. You was like when you're young, you think like some crazy stuff.
And you know, because it's a million things that we say as
Yeah.
kids.
And you'll think it'll work too as a kid. You're like, drink coffee.
Yeah, but as you become an adult,
Yeah.
you just learn and know
Yeah.
okay, certain things aren't okay to say.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, I think that's the wonderful thing about podcasts because you can come on a podcast and have a real authentic conversation like this and, you know,
Yeah.
And not get judged. For
not
it.
get judged.
And that's
or,
why I say, man, Chicos, we all family. If you come on
Absolutely.
here, it's family. It's like your therapy session. It's like, because, you know, I call him a therapist. You know,
yeah, I get that vibe from you.
And,
appreciate
and to keep you from crying, you got the jokester, you know. So that's how we do
awesome.
it.
to lighten the mood a little
Yeah,
bit.
to lighten the mood.
Yep.
Because, you know, we do want to get stuff resolved and
Yep.
and not to have people out here looking crazy crying to the audience.
Yep.
We want to
Yeah.
throw a little bit of laughter on it to keep it
Absolutely.
from that. Yeah.
But hey, if we happen to cry, we happen to cry.
Oh, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I might. I'm a crier.
All right. But yeah, let's dive back in, Coco. So we left off talking about some really important topics. We talked a little bit about the background. We talked a little bit also about your mindset towards society and racism and mixed families, mixed cultures, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about your upbringing that helped you form the mindset that you have now towards society and everything in between?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, interesting to look back now and realize that I grew up in this town with no black people. Now, at the time, the town was so small. So, elementary school, middle school, all of that was in this town. To go to high school, I had to go to the next town over, which was Richmond.
Right.
Okay.
So, because we weren't large enough to have our own high school, we had to go to the next town over. We all combined into that high school. When I got to high school, there was one mixed kid.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm saying all of this for you to understand. First of all, let's, like we were saying, I hate racism.
Right.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So my exposure, though, to the black culture, black people, would have been through my religious services.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course my childhood
Yeah.
with my family member.
Yeah.
But through our religious services, so we'd attend different spiritual functions where
Right.
I would meet a large variety of people from all over
Right.
Chicago in different areas. So there's when I'm interacting with people from the black culture and getting to know those people, and it's in a spiritual setting. So as you can imagine, all of my interactions are with amazing people.
Right.
Positive.
Okay. Yeah.
Positive, good, good-hearted people, you know, on good paths, making good life decisions, right?
Right.
Like, all of that is so good. And
It made a real impact on
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really serious impact.
yeah, because again, I came from a culture of love.
Right.
Unity. We're all viewed equally, right? Because of that spiritual background.
Okay.
So there was not being perpetuated any like, hey, stay away from them. They're different. They're this or that.
Right. Right.
So where does this come into play? I look back and I think like, where did it come into play that the black community is this or that, like any type of negative connotation? So fast forward to now that I ended up so like I said, with the religious upbringing,
Right.
I ended up meeting a lot of black families. So when I was 13, I met who would become my husband.
Okay.
So him and I grew up. We went to the same religious services when I was 13. So through my teenage years, I knew him.
Right.
We ran in the same circles. We got married, I think I was 20 or 21 when we got married. And we started dating when I was 19,
Okay.
I believe. Okay. So when I think about these experiences, they make me angry to even think about it.
Why is that?
Okay, so picture this. I'm dating this black man.
Right.
Again, I live out in the country.
Oh, he came out there?
So I live in, at this point in time, I'm in Spring Grove area. It's country. It is country. I grew up on 10 acres.
Oh, yeah.
Confederate flags and shit everywhere.
No, but
Okay.
That's why I asked, he went out there?
Yeah,
Shit,
exactly.
he's scared.
for real though, that's so for real. So he grew up in Chicago,
Right.
but his parents, as the kids were getting a little older, they grew up in poverty. They grew up in the bad parts of Chicago. They wanted to get them out of there.
Right.
They had moved to Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah.
And we started attending religious services in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So that's how I ended up meeting them.
Okay.
So, fast forward to now, we're dating, and he had come out. I don't remember the particulars of like where we were going, what we were doing. All I know is in these areas, there's a lot of country roads,
Right.
and we were out on a date or whatever we were doing. I was driving his car, right?
What kind of car was it?
Toyota RAV4.
Okay.
Black Toyota RAV4. That's what he
Okay, I
owned
know.
then.
Okay.
That's what he owned
Yeah,
then.
yeah, that's a, yeah.
Yeah, it's a smaller size SUV. So now, mind you, he was actually in the car business. He's the one who started in the car business initially. Yeah,
So that's where
he was the career guy in the car business.
Okay.
So he happened to get this vehicle from where he worked, and
So you're driving the car.
so we're driving it. I'm driving.
Yeah.
It's late at night, dark country road. I'm getting pulled over,
Oh man.
and I'm like, what's happening? Like, I know I'm not
Right.
speeding. I know I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Tell me why this police officer is so surprised to find a white woman behind the wheel.
What?
I'm assuming because he ran the license.
Ran the
License
plates.
Okay. Yeah.
Owned by a black man.
Yeah.
And so I've got, my boyfriend at the time over here, and I'm going like, what is happening? I wasn't doing nothing wrong. And he's like, keep your hands on the wheel.
Yep.
Don't make any sudden moves, like stay calm.
Yeah.
Don't, and because I'm like, let me get my license, whatever.
Yeah.
And what the heck is going on? And so this police officer comes up, and he's full of attitude.
Oh, man.
Of course, shocked to see a white woman driving the car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And this white woman who wants to know, like, excuse me, why you pulling me
exactly.
over?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You're not showing signs of distress or fear. You're
Right.
more so like, you know what I mean?
Like, what's happening?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because I've been pulled
Yeah.
over, okay, for speeding. Not even gonna lie, back then I liked to speed a lot. So if I earned that,
Yeah.
I speed a
I
lot.
earned that. That's
Right,
fine.
right.
But I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong, and the attitude he came at me with, and I was like, no, I'm all of 19 or 20. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And so I've got my boyfriend over there, like, you better keep your hands on that wheel. Like,
Yeah.
no, quit trying to try something. Like, quit.
Right.
You
Yep.
do everything he says. So that
Right.
was like a reality check for me to, okay, are you serious? Are you serious right now?
Right.
This is really happening out here.
Right.
Because I don't understand that. I don't understand that mentality at
Absolutely.
all.
Yeah.
So
Like,
let's stay right there for a little bit. One on the relationship, and I want to know more experiences and more things that allowed the relationship to develop the way that it did. But in this particular story, though, in this scenario, again, I want to highlight the vast differences between the response that people get simply based on color or you know what I
Yep.
mean.
Yeah.
And I think maybe even gender, right? It might have been different if it was a white man sitting in a car with him.
Sure.
Like he might have still found it to be weird, but it's not as like appalling. It's not as shocking as it is for a white woman. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
and forgive me, I'm not, and I don't, because a white woman, like, they vary, right? Just like black men vary, right?
Right.
You got
Yeah.
some dark skinned
Right.
black men, you got lighter skinned black men,
yeah.
you got even lighter skinned black men than him. So the picture I want to paint is that for COCO, right? She's not only just like a white woman, but you kind of give and are you give I think this is a great example. I don't know, I know you when you were younger, we used to watch like a lot of Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And cartoons and stuff like that. You are the ideal cartoon mom.
I love it.
Literally.
Thank you.
Like I get
That's
that
awesome.
vibe.
That's
and
awesome.
Like, it's the ideal cartoon mom, right?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Life goal achieved. Thank you. Oh my God.
So I can only imagine how shocked this officer may have been to see you and to see him and like, okay.
But don't be mistaken. I was 19 and full of myself.
No, absolutely. And that's part of why he was like, okay, like relax, like you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So can you explain to us how that whole ordeal ended, and maybe was there a conversation between you guys after the traffic stop had ended?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the officer couldn't find anything wrong to give me a ticket for. So I don't remember the specifics exactly. Again, this is about 20 some years ago. So I don't remember it all. I just remember how it felt, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How it felt.
Yep.
And like just the realization of that this is ridiculous injustice that's happening.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, whatever the cop may have said at the time, and obviously he had to let me go. We got to part our ways.
Yeah.
But what my ex-husband was always trying to teach me was you're going to be with a black man. You're going to have to act differently.
Right.
You're going to have to, like he said, do not, you keep your hands on the wheel. That was his biggest thing. You keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Right.
And that was how he was raised, what he was taught by his family growing up in Chicago. And even because he was harassed a lot.
Tell me about it.
Ooh.
Tell me about it.
Ooh.
Got it bad in Chicago.
Got it bad everywhere.
But even when they went out to
That's
Wisconsin.
what I mean. Like you everywhere. If you're black, you get it bad everywhere. But let me ask you a really, really, I think is a question I really want to know how you see it. You said that in that instance, in that scenario, right? And what he said to you was like, if you're gonna be with a black man, then you kind of have to know how it goes and maybe change and adapt. Do you think it goes both ways? Do you think he also, like, if you're gonna date a white woman, then you also needs to do X, Y, and Z things? Like, what are your what's your thought process on that?
So I'll give you some real life examples. When we were dating, we went to, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Gurney Mills Mall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I love
That was
Gurney
our
Mills.
stomping grounds.
Yep. Yep.
Six Flags, Gurney
Six
Mills
Flags.
Mall.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a perfect day. That's a perfect day.
Yeah, it is though.
It's a perfect day.
That was my childhood. I
It's
was-
tax time area.
Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect day.
That's awesome.
And then let me ask you.
Well, no, she was gonna give
Oh,
an
okay,
example.
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, let me-
So dating, again, 20 plus years ago, going through Gurney Mills Mall, and it's not the norm. It is not accepted out in our areas then for this integrated, right, interracial relationship. So
Right.
walking through the mall, you've got the white men who are staring him down,
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But you've also got the black women who are mean mugging me.
Yeah.
Everybody's angry.
Yeah,
Everybody's
right,
angry.
right.
It's still like
Oh
that
my
to this day.
gosh.
She said everybody, that's so like
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my gosh, we can't just walk through the mall
Yeah.
and enjoy ourselves. We're got to be on guard, like,
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
but families too. So even on both sides, our families were also like, hey, are y'all prepared for what society is going to throw your way? Like
Right.
in that example, people are angry. You're together walking through the mall.
Yeah.
So you had mixed opinions being thrown in there too
Right.
from family members
Right.
on both sides
Yep. Right.
who didn't necessarily agree with it because they knew the challenges and struggles
Yeah.
that we would
Yeah.
face.
How were holidays?
So I didn't actually grow up celebrating holidays. So
No? What?
that was
None,
it was
zero?
no big deal.
None at all?
Your birthday, nothing?
Nope.
Wow.
Is it religious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing with us your religion?
No,
or-
I don't mind. So I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh wow,
Okay.
my
Yeah.
grandmother's a Jehovah's
really?
Witness.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I don't know
Oh,
none.
those Watchtower booklets. Oh my, she used to kill me with those as a kid. Those Watchtower
Oh my
articles.
gosh.
But I can't lie, like that's a vivid memory in my head because those
Sure.
Watchtower like booklets and articles and how they paint the pictures, like you look at the illustrations and you read what it's talking
good.
about, how God really loves you
Yeah.
and He wants to take care of His people,
Yep.
and we need to live righteous lives and
Yeah.
be kind to people.
Yep.
Like that had an impact on me. I think it's part
That's
of
cool.
what made me also very universal and open
Yeah.
to different kinds of people.
Yep.
So that was really dope, and I love the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like a really, really good group of
awesome.
people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Seriously.
Y'all don't mind if I take it back a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
So, before the pullover and stuff like that, you had to introduce this man to your mom and dad. How did that go?
Well, they already knew him because we all attended the
church,
religious
yeah,
services.
right. Okay.
So we were all, my family was friends with his family.
Right.
Again, going back to being Jehovah's Witnesses,
Right.
that was the setting. Like, yeah, there wasn't this, introduction of like where you're scared. So
Right.
I'm thankful I didn't have to deal with any of that because
Right.
of the way that we were.
Already connected. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Can I ask
Is there like any tips you could give for those kids out there that's not kids, but teenagers or
Young
whatever,
adults.
young adults that's especially a white woman or a Caucasian lady that's in your shoes that's deciding to pick up a Chicago black man, because in some parents' minds that register as trouble already when they hear
Sure.
Chicago off back.
Yeah.
So do you have any like advice or anything for them?
That's a great question.
It is. You need to be respectful, right? You need to understand where some people are coming from and their perspective, even though it might be narrow-minded.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I look back to the family members who tried to give us, hey, what are y'all doing?
Right.
Advice. It was well-intended, but hey, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
Right.
So respectfully, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Right.
If that's who you love at the end of the day, what's wrong with that?
Right.
Because at the end of it all, because I've lived such a life to where I had growing up a lot of wealth and privilege that many didn't, and then I've also been a single mom who was very broke, very broke.
Yep.
Okay.
So I understand that life circumstances can change. So
Yes.
just because you think someone came
Right.
from one situation, and this is who I'm about now. I don't
Yep.
care where you came from.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
What are you capable of accomplishing
Now.
Yeah.
right now?
Who are you right now?
Yes.
What is the vision for now?
Yes.
Because you can only look back for so long.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly. So where's that person going? What is their character? What is their quality? Do they have integrity?
Right.
Those are the important questions you need to be asking, not where they came from. Because quite frankly, those kids you know what pisses me off?
What?
I know that those kids in Chicago didn't get the same level and advantages that I got.
And it goes deeper than that. It also extends into the foundations that we're growing up from, right? Because advantages, right? You gotta think about this, and I'm sure you do, right? It's one thing to be in a position to be privileged and to have advantages, right? That's one side of it. But another side of it is that most kids in Chicago don't even get the very basics of things that we need. Like, for instance, basic love or a shelter, right? A roof over your head or food on the table. I remember plenty of nights like it's a joke in the black community. It's a sad joke, but it's a joke and it's so relatable. But oftentimes a lot of black people will say like, I cried myself to sleep, or how does it go? Some nights I was so hungry to where I had to go to sleep to like get rid of that hunger pain. Like the only thing I can do to get rid of that pain of being hungry was just go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that to where like forgetting advantage, I just want the basics.
Right.
Oh
I
my
just want
God,
something to eat.
Y'all deserve it and entitled
You know
to it.
what I mean?
Like,
Yeah. But again, it goes deeper than that because, okay, that's the kid, right? What about the full-fledged adults who are in these situations and in these circumstances who have had an opportunity to figure life out and figure out how they can advance themselves, but we are so crushed mentally and economically and in so many other ways to where cause that's not to go on a rant, but that's truly one of the things that got me super interested in psychology because I really wanted to know why did we struggle so bad and why was it okay for the adults? Like, why couldn't the adults figure out how to get us out of struggling situations? Like, I never understood that.
Yeah,
you
for
want some
sure.
cheat codes?
Yeah,
You want some cheat
please.
codes?
Drop us some.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this because, like I told you, I watched the podcast that you guys did with Cornelius.
Yep.
And y'all were opening up
Shout out Corn.
my mind.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shout out to
yes.
Corn.
Yes. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He was like blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you guys too.
For sure.
So obviously this is all stuff I think about all the time, right? Because don't forget too, I have a mixed daughter. So it's
Right,
not just
right.
me. I love people. I hate injustice, hate racism. I also have a child I need to think about,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's gonna deal with these things?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
already is.
Oh, yeah.
Already is. So, okay. So let me give you a little more background, right? That leads me to where I want to take you in terms of your concerns and how do we address this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Absolutely.
So growing up, we already established I had some wealth there.
Yeah.
Not a normal childhood. I did go through trauma though. Okay. and I don't want to go into detail, but I want
Right,
to tell
absolutely,
you
yeah.
as a kid how I felt, which was alone. Feeling like there wasn't people to trust, feeling like there wasn't people who cared about me, feeling like, why did this happen? Did I do something to deserve this?
Right.
All the child feelings when you go through a trauma.
Yep. Yep.
So on a human level, when I think about my childhood and kids who are going through some bad situations and struggling, I can connect with that.
Absolutely.
So deeply. And I hate the thought when you talk about these kids crying to sleep, like,
Yep.
I hate that. I hate that thought. So, and even though I had this really good upbringing in terms of finances, I'm also a single mom who has struggled and been very, very broke. Very broke. And trying to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I can also relate to the stress of I need to provide for my child.
Both worlds.
I love it. That makes
Yeah.
you such a beautiful person in my
You've
eyes.
seen both worlds.
It makes you
You
such a beautiful person. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So here's, and you know what cracked me up too when you said, "Oh, what's the evil white man? What's the evil white man?"
Yeah.
Thinking you said that on the podcast.
Yeah, you know she watched it.
What's the evil white man thinking?
That's so dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clue you in. They're
Chico.
fucking with our mental.
Yeah.
They're fucking with our mental, and especially when I think about Chicago and the kids in the hood. Okay, so many levels to this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How they're fucking with our mental. And again, this is totally my perspective.
Yeah.
Totally.
Thank you
Please
Yeah.
don't think I am some authority on any of this.
No.
For the audience. This is my
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, we
perspective
respect
and
it.
me thinking about my experiences and where I'm at and where I've been.
Yep.
These kids who are going through these struggles. And then you have the racism aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Who are being told, in your words, right?
You're less than, inferior,
Yeah.
degenerate, unintelligent.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that evil white man bullshit. Fucking with your mental. So you got to help them realize they're not. But what else is the evil white man? And I'm not talking about, let's not stereotype. I'm not talking all white men.
No,
There's just those ones out there.
Yeah, that's why I say
The,
evil.
the
powers that
big
be, yep.
corporations
The
that have
powers
set
that
these
be.
systems into place that
Yes.
don't want you or me to succeed,
Yeah.
quite
Yes.
frankly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I
1000%.
say
Those are the
evil.
evil
That's
corporations,
why I say evil.
businesses,
Yes.
systems
Yes.
that they've structured
Yeah.
Yep.
that don't want,
Yep.
especially your demographic, to
Absolutely.
succeed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So the other thing too, what are they telling these little kids? White people don't care about you. White people don't want you to succeed. White people don't want you to win.
Right.
I'm here. I'm here telling you I want you to win. I'm here telling you
Yeah.
I want your children to win. I want your family to win. I want you to succeed. I'm going to root you on. I'm cheering for you. If I've never even met you, I'm cheering for you.
Me cry.
Yeah.
I'm about to cry. Let me
She
say-
came on the show, so she proving it.
Man, she's
Her
proving it.
actions.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Think about this. I think this is absolutely horrible. If me as a child, and I remember what it felt like to feel alone, to feel hopeless, to feel like there was no one I can trust,
Right.
if you are allowing the children to be fed with that information, what don't they have?
Right.
They don't have hope.
Exactly.
They don't have hope that it gets better.
Right.
So, because it is Black History Month, I'm going to give you an
damn it is,
example.
yo.
I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, like, I hear his speech and I can barely even keep it together. on a broad aspect, let's break down who that man was and what he did.
Yep.
Right.
On a broad, right? I think there's 4 main things that Martin Luther King did for
Talk
everyone.
about it.
Okay?
Talk about it.
The 2 most powerful things in the universe are love and authenticity. I never had to even meet that man to be able to hear his words and the way it resonates through my soul and makes me just want to cry.
Right.
That man must have been loving. And he had to have so much love in his heart and soul to be able to speak up the way he did.
Right.
He was a loving man. Okay. And that's powerful. He accomplished what he accomplished because of love.
Right.
Right? Authenticity. It's the second most powerful thing in the universe. You know why?
Why?
Because when you show up as your authentic self,
Right.
in all your glory and all your vulnerabilities and your mistakes and imperfections, people can connect with that. Right? Because when you're authentic, there's so much honesty and truth behind it.
Yep.
So Martin Luther King must have been a very authentic human being because that is powerful.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
He moved people.
Definitely.
And now we go to his third most powerful asset that he had, his voice. His voice. It wasn't one of negativity, right?
Right.
It wasn't one of spreading hatred. It was one of spreading love and power. Now imagine your voice is the most powerful asset that you have.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the most powerful
is.
asset.
It is.
And he knew it and he used it and he did good,
Yeah.
right? And what did he do with all of that? He gave hope. He gave hope. You all want to help those young kids in the Chicago hood? Give them hope.
Right. Yeah.
Give them hope. Tell them that there are white people out here who care about them and love them and want them to succeed.
Yeah. We got Coco running for mayor.
Hey, running for president. Hey, it's 2024, Coco for president. Oh, yeah. Coco for president.
About to make me cry over here,
like,
man.
literally, and she, like, it's so heavy, Coco, everything you're
Yeah,
sticking to.
damn.
And I have to say that those 4 qualities that you just mentioned is something that resonates and shines through you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it really do, because for you to mention Black History Month, for you to mention Martin Luther King, for you to have seen him enough and really resonated with him enough to where you can break it down into 4 key characteristics about
Right,
this man.
right.
It shows that these are characteristics that mean something to you and characteristics that you yourself are trying to live out yourself through the way you interact with the world.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful to see, because anyone can take their traumas and become an evil person and become a bitter person and spew hate. But for someone like you to come from where you come from, to have the experiences that you have, and then to be so tapped in with the Black community.
for
Shout
real.
out to Coco for really being tapped in with
Let me
the
say
Black
something real
community.
quick.
Please
I know
do.
y'all out there was like,
She tapped in with
they
us.
got a white woman.
You really
Right.
tapped in with us.
Man, listen, she tapped into us,
Yeah.
Martin Luther King,
Black History Month. Hey, and just us as black, and just as men, like
nigga, she in, bro. She in, bro.
Man, come on.
She in for real, bro. Like, this ain't the typical, you know what I'm saying?
Let me talk about something real quick, just as a sidebar, before we get back into the heavier conversations. But I want to again speak towards the gifts. I think oftentimes a lot of men, not only black men, especially black men, but oftentimes men don't get gifts.
Right.
Oftentimes
Yeah, that's
men
true.
are really just
Wow.
give.
So much.
I didn't
So
think about
much.
that.
Yeah. So this is really special to us because again, like honestly, this is, and I don't want to speak for all men, but at least for the men that I know, I speak for myself. Like, that's really all men want at the end of the day, is to
A little something.
just a little something,
Okay.
a little
Okay.
appreciation, just a little thought that you really thought about us, and really, because you could have came in here with flowers on this cup or
Yeah, anything, I still would have been like, damn.
no, well that, but at the same time though, she like, no, this is to me, it's really strong
Yes.
and powerful,
Yeah.
and I love
Yes.
it. So to me, that's really, really thoughtful, and I just want to again thank
You
you for
gonna see
that.
me drink out this cup from now on.
Really want to, and shout out to Coco, and shout out for women who actually do pay attention.
Yeah.
And,
Hell yeah.
you make
Yes,
things
we
happen.
do. Thank you.
and make things happen. We appreciate
So
it.
there's more to this story.
Let's talk
I
about
didn't
it.
I didn't finish telling y'all.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So because the branding where I want to give these gifts to people, right? When they're purchasing cars. So
Right.
and I've just kind of been on the fly, like trying to figure out what am I giving for gifts, right? What am I doing? And so January just didn't, I was really on the fly, but February I wanted to put more thought into it.
But January, you gave the cups, right?
I gave
Those.
if you go on my COCO the Car Queen page, you'll see I have like different variations of like floral arrangements and within there. So usually
haven't
it's
seen that
like
yet.
your gift bags,
Yeah.
and there is some type of cup. Yeah, there's some type of cup sitting in there with the floral arrangements out.
Yeah.
but everything was so on the fly. There wasn't like specific floral arrangements, just whatever I was vibing with at the time. And there wasn't specific cups. So February, I wanted to give a lot more thought into what's the theme, what's the message I want, in addition to, just giving gifts, right? And giving people a good experience when they're buying their car. So I had gotten these cups. I had ordered. They come in, and I had several other things I had ordered. And I'm sitting there with my daughter, who's 15, by the way.
Okay.
And she's amazing. She's amazing. She's like the perfect sidekick.
Teenagers are always like a hot topic, but continue, please.
She's the perfect sidekick.
Yep.
She is. So I got all these cups. So there's, with the lions, there's actually 3. There's a gold, a copper, and then I've got a silver one at home. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, I really want some like backstories here, right? Like really, let's have fun. Let's have fun. So we started spitballing like names for the lions and all this different stuff. So I dug in and I decided that I'm gonna have each. So I've got the shirts for each wine glass, right? So the lion theme, right? So that lion, if you'll see like on the tail, on the shirt, on your shirt. So I snuck in his name. His name. And his name is King Lazar.
Wow.
So there's a meaning to it. Because what I'm all about right now is... It's the same.
The same. Oh, okay.
So this lion, the gold one, this one with the shirt is going to represent King Lazar.
Okay.
So I'm all about right now, like, because I'm so excited that I decided to pursue my passion, like get out there. Like I want other people to be inspired, right? So this lion, I'll read to you. Let me get it up here. What he represents. So,
Please do.
King Lazar.
King Lazar. That name just sounds powerful.
Lazar the lion.
Yeah.
All right.
So dope.
A king that represents new beginnings. I'm getting a new beginning. COCO the car queen.
Yeah.
This is a new start for me. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lazar the lion, a king that represents new beginnings. Many assumed his mistakes had left his kingdom shattered beyond repair. However, the struggles and challenges did not completely break him. Thus, with the will to succeed and the grace of second chances, Lazar rises up. His kingdom thrives and his legacy will live on.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
I love it. Have you heard of the phoenix that rises from the ashes?
Yes.
It's very similar to
Yes.
that. And I love it so much because I think that's so representative of myself and this man, and definitely for yourself because like you said, like this COCO, this whole new branding of yourself is all new for you.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're a butterfly, like coming out of the cocoon. You were once like a little caterpillar, but now you're something totally different. It's so beautiful, and I love it. And I think that represents you and us like perfectly.
Yeah.
No, I thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely. So the King Lazar.
Yeah.
So COCO, we've talked a lot about different topics, but one topic that we don't talk often about enough, in my opinion, and probably not with any of our guests this far, is the fast-paced hustle and bustle, performance-driven world of sales. So for yourself, you are in the automotive sales, right? So you're actually selling vehicles, right?
Correct.
Yes.
What I did was, and what I think is going to make this topic really special for our guests is, I also was in sales, but I sold car insurance. I also sold home insurance and boat insurance, but our main thing was auto insurance. So I think with your background and with your experiences and with my background and my experiences, I think that we can help a lot of people not only understand the car purchasing side of it, but then also what do you need to, because they go hand in hand. You can't have a car without the insurance, and there's no need for insurance if you don't have a car, right? So they go hand in hand. So I think it's going to be a great segment for both of us to not only give knowledge, but then also drop some gems and some secrets that'll really help some people.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to kick it off with just your background in the automotive world and how it all happened for you?
Yeah, sure. So overall, actually fairly new to car sales. My background is actually in jewelry sales, high-end luxury jewelry sales. So
That's where you started?
yeah, I was like 19 or 20 years old when I started at my first jewelry store job.
Okay.
So in Gurney Mills Mall.
Hey, shout out to Gurney Mills.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah. So then after my husband and I got married, we actually moved out to Las Vegas.
Okay.
And my jewelry career continued there at the Wynn Hotel.
Okay.
So I worked at their jewelry and watch. So actually helped open up it was the first U.S. based Rolex boutique.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So I was dealing with
Wow.
a lot of high end.
Yeah,
big money,
yeah.
ballers.
Yep.
Yep.
Let me ask you this: was it a lot of white people, or a lot of black people shopping? Do you see any black
So-
people coming to buy those Rolexes?
Well, yes, but
Really?
here's the thing: it's Vegas. Like you got
For
everyone from
everybody's,
everywhere.
yeah.
I dealt with so many varieties of clients
people,
from all
yeah.
walks of earth. Which
What year was this?
So this is 2004 to 2000. No, yeah, about like 2004 to 2007.
Oh, yeah,
So I was there for
yeah.
about 3 years.
You meet any celebrities?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Any can remember?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got some good memories. Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
I
yeah,
got to meet him.
He's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
really cool. Seal and Heidi Klum had come through there and bought some watches.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Another
yeah.
mixed couple.
Yeah.
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 That's dope.
It is.
I actually got to do business with some royalty.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I had. Sorry, I know we're getting off topic
No,
from the
a
car
little
sales.
bit. Yeah, we're gonna get back, but this is interesting. I want to hear more about this.
Yeah, so I this was wild. This lady comes rolling in on her scooter, right? And she's kind of large. So she had this scooter. But behind her is like this gang of 4 badass chicks.
Oh, damn.
Badass chicks. Like you just look at them like you know they're gonna fuck you up.
Right.
And they're Middle Eastern, okay?
Okay.
I was on it too. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
there's something here. It was
Yep.
the biggest sale of my career.
Really?
She was a princess from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I think it was like $125,000 in sales there. She was not a nice human being.
Really?
Not a nice,
Just talk about it.
rude, rude,
Entitled.
entitled. You better believe it. Smoking. There was laws that said you couldn't smoke
Right,
in
right,
public.
right.
She's just blowing it in my face. Hey, bring me something to put the ashes in.
Wow.
Very, very, very,
Yeah.
very rude. But hey, the biggest sale of my career, I cashed that paycheck last.
I know you did.
I'm like, thank you.
You said 125.
You kind of suck as a human being, but thank you.
Check the bag. Like
Yeah.
just drop the bag in there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it's nothing. I walked out and went on about the day.
yeah. I'm like,
What? Yeah. And then from there,
So that was one of the royal family members I had done business with. But prior to that, I had done business with another princess from the Middle East. And let me
damn.
tell you the difference. This woman came in and she was just head to toe, gorgeous, beautiful. She entered the room with such elegance and grace. The people around her, you could tell she was a beautiful human being. Her bodyguards spoke highly of her. I mean, they were just happy to be with her, to be
Right,
working
right.
for her, and the way she treated everyone. Me, as I would be like technically the help, right?
Right,
You know, me who was conducting business with her, and she's purchasing, and she was just a beautiful human being. So
Yeah.
it's when I look back on those experiences, it's crazy to me how you can have 2 princesses from the Middle
Right.
East who are approaching life very, very differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit more about it, but I want to also stay on track.
Yeah,
with
sorry.
The, I don't, no, because that's also really interesting. Because again, like money also doesn't dictate, your character and your integrity, right? That truly comes from the person. So we'll get back to the bigger theme of this whole thing, which is like we talked about before the show, which is the self-improvement and the growth that takes place in a human being. But back to the auto sales and how you
Yeah.
got there.
yeah. So my
So you
ex-husband,
in
who was
Vegas?
in the business
Yep.
for he's been in it like 22 years now.
Well,
I
so you-
never really pictured myself doing.
But you were in Vegas selling jewelry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did
Yeah.
you get from there to what was next?
So I ended up having my daughter while I was pregnant and wanted to come back home to be with family. I didn't have any family out there.
Okay.
So I wanted to
Yeah, absolutely.
come back home, be around
village.
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
The village.
Yeah. So out here, that can having a child completely changes everything. So fast forward to it was right before COVID started. I had gotten a job offer in the car industry. I had gone to get my car an oil change or something, and ended up meeting with one of the managers, got a job offer.
Okay.
So I decided to pursue that. So that was my first entry into the car business.
Okay.
It was a rough time to start. COVID hit right after that. Everything shutting down.
Yep.
It was a crazy time for the car business.
Talk about that. Can you give us some insight and how that was for you and just for the car business? Like, what type of impact did COVID do to the car business and auto sales in general? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, so like I said, I had just switched to what I thought was going to be the new career choice that would make me really good money.
Yeah, right. And then now everything is canceled.
Yeah, they're like, oh, y'all need to stay home. Don't come outside.
Yeah. But isn't that tough though? Or were you commission based or salaried?
Yeah,
or a mixture of both?
It's commission only. Well, they'll give you like a base, right?
Okay, right.
They'll give you a base, but it's
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. That's sales.
Yeah,
that's sales, and that's how they really keep you motivated to. You know what I mean? Going,
yeah. And so
it's almost disrespectful. almost.
For real.
It's like right there, like right
people
there.
don't understand. Like y'all think we're out here getting so rich. We're not.
We're not.
The struggle is real.
And especially if I'm not really good at what I do. If I really suck at what I do, I'm not making any money. Yeah. Sorry. So I'm sorry.
No, that's all good.
The nightmares and the horrors of sales. I'm sorry, but yeah.
So I'm trying to learn this industry, which knowledge on cars, just to be frank, it does not come naturally to me at all. Engines and the horsepower, no, that's not
tire sizes.
That's not my specialty. But so I'm trying to learn all of this and hoping it's the new career choice for me. And then the customers aren't coming in.
Right.
We're not getting the cars and the products we need.
Yes.
Factories are shutting down.
Yes.
There's a shortage on supplies.
Yep.
What are we talking about right now? So
are you laughing to keep from crying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
That's rough.
I feel you. Yeah. I feel you.
But I can look back now and be like, I made it through.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
I survived the car business when all that craziness was going on. I'm still here.
Did it boom afterwards? Did you?
Right. So then you saw the craziness happening because there's now this shortage in supply. Prices now start skyrocketing. Right. Demand is now higher too.
Right.
Because customers don't have as much access like they did before. So there was still, I think, a steady enough. After that initial
wave,
what the hell, we all have to stay home.
Yep. Took a few months.
Yeah.
But
yeah, then it started picking back up. But the writing was on the wall, 2021, I believe. New cars weren't coming.
Okay.
So I was at a Ford dealership at the time, and I was like, "Oh, the writing's on the wall. We are not even getting new cars. They're not hitting the lots like they're supposed to be." Yeah. So I decided to switch gears and go used car only, and that's when I switched to a dealership where the pay structure wasn't commission based, but it was a flat fee. So no matter what I sold, I was going to get paid. Right. Yeah. And it's used cars. We got those coming. It's all good. So
100%. And I think that was a great decision on your end.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because at the same time I was in the auto insurance industry and we experienced the exact same type of issues. The only thing with us is that, and I think that's the difference that I want to touch on a little bit and maybe get your opinion on, because it's a product-based side to society and to business. It's also a service-based side to business, right? And as an entrepreneur or just anybody who's interested in making money, you have to figure out if you're product-based or if you're service-based. Yeah. One of the great things about a podcast is it's obviously service-based, right? We don't have a tangible thing that people can buy from us, but it can ultimately become that. But my point that I want to hit on really is the fact that for you guys, it was more product-based. You literally sell cars. Yeah. People leave with something, right? For us, it's a service. So I think that was the difference. I think the insurance industry didn't take as hard as of a hit because even though people weren't buying cars, your car that sat in the driveway still needed to be insured. Sure. So and not only that, but then policies also expire and rates increase and people are still shopping for insurance even though they aren't shopping for cars. Right, so we didn't take as much of a hit or as huge as a hit on it when it came to COVID and things like that. But I did experience just the the volume of business definitely dipped and dropped, and it made it hard for salesmen like ourselves or saleswomen like us to really like see a future in this. And around that same time is when I also made a switch. I also got out of the commission based world of sales because it was too unpredictable, and not only that, but one of the things that most people don't understand when it comes to sales is that you really could be like on top of the world one paycheck and then the next paycheck you are really struggling to get anything paid. And I hated that feeling. I hated like going home to my girlfriend and saying, hey babe, we could do whatever and it's your world, and then the following paycheck is, babe, like, can I borrow $20? You know what I mean? Like that was too vast of a difference for me. So I got out of it and I got into claims. But back to you with it. So how is it now for you? And can you maybe shed light on folks who might want to start a career in sales? Because it is a lot of money to be made in it. And I'm sure if in selling autos and selling cars, whether used or new or even insurance, it's just a lot of money in sales to be made because people need things and people consume things. Can you talk about that? That kind of part of it, just how sales is and what's really your thought process on sales. Is it really something that you really want to, is it something that, is really
so
for
it's
you?
Interesting that you share that. Thank you. Because I actually didn't realize that insurance was taking the hit like that. I didn't think about that. And I didn't realize, so you guys were on like a commission based or you're only making money when people are getting their policies.
You get a percentage for every policy that you write. So I would call and people would say I need insurance. I would write the policy. And I would get a percentage of the premium. So if the policy, for instance, if I got a family of four and they have 3 vehicles in the household and they need insurance for all 3 vehicles, let's say the premium for 6 months is $2,000, right? So for $2,000, you get insurance for 6 months. I would get a percentage of that $2,000 added onto my commission check, and that's how we made money.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that. So, when it comes to sales, like you said, it can be very tough. Now that I've switched, it is strictly commission based. You like you said, you get that base, right? It can be doable, and I do hope that the example that I'm setting, because I'm in a business dominated by men.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Aren't a lot of women in this business. I looked it up previously. I want to say it's like 20 to 30%.
Sounds about right.
In the car business.
Sounds
so
about
I
right.
hope by me being out here, it sets an example. Like, women, please, y'all can do this. Like, this can be you. There's no reason the men need to dominate.
Absolutely.
Y'all are cool, but there's no reason you need to dominate. We can do this too.
And I truly believe women are actually better at it because women are more personable, they are more energetic, they are more friendly, they are more serviceable in terms of like, I want to do what's right by you. More so men are like, I want to do what's right by me. Even if I got to sit here and con you into buying a car. Women really want to, no, I want to make sure you are good.
Yeah, I tend to be like that nurturing.
Exactly.
Like
That's
mom.
that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And I think women have an advantage with that. So women, you absolutely are right. Women can and should do this. I think they will overtake men if they really, like you said, had the hope and the belief that they can do it.
That there's no reason. And here's the thing too. So going back to my childhood, I have no college degree. Nobody told me to go to college and get a degree. I have a GED.
Really?
I have a GED.
What happened in high school?
My parents pulled me out my junior year. They said you're getting into too much trouble. They said you can stay home and homeschool. Thanks, guys.
What high school you went to?
Richmond Burton.
Okay.
Richmond Burton High
How was
School.
homeschool? Can you speak on that? How was it?
Stupid, because I didn't really care about it.
Did it work?
No.
Really?
I finally got my GED when I was out in Vegas. Already making like 6 figures. Just wanted to say I got the GED.
Right.
Wow.
So sales is where it's at. If you got if you got someone who does, college isn't for them, for whatever reason, maybe they struggle with ADHD or just being able to focus or whatever, college isn't for them. Sales, you can have a very, very successful career in sales.
Really can.
Right. Yeah, especially as a woman, they keep conversations going. And
They got that thing. And, men, not to speak bad on anyone, but men are tricks, and men love to impress women.
Yeah, that's what
I don't
it
care.
is,
Like
too.
we love to impress women. It's one of those things that just like you can't.
Yeah, you want to show out.
Yeah, exactly. You
Especially
wanna-
so you come to her.
Exactly. She got the smile and the charisma.
She single.
I'm gonna spend some money with her. I'm gonna spend a lot of money with her just to show her that I can do it. Why not?
Hey, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, if you want to.
that's exactly it right there. So that's amazing. But sales really is where it's at. Like I know guys when I was we worked in a small little office. But believe it or not, when I worked for Allstate, I worked for the #1 agency in the state of Illinois, and it was a top 10 agency in the nation. So, and this is Allstate, right? So just imagine how big of a corporation Allstate is, right?
Yeah.
And this is a large, multi-billion-dollar corporation. So to work for an agency that was top 10 in the nation in sales and in revenue, and to work for the #1 agency in the state of Illinois, I mean, money was just flowing, right? All you had to do was hone in on your skills and your
Yeah,
crafts,
that's it.
but the leads were flowing.
Okay.
The leads were flowing. All you just had to do was be a COCO and have that charisma and know how to talk to people, know how to hold a conversation, but also know your shit and also be authentic and genuine with people. And I think that's why. I used to say all the time, like the insurance sells itself, right? It's one of those things that you don't need to sell because it's something that's mandated by law for all people to have. You have to have this, so you don't really sell insurance. What you sell is yourself, and I think it's the same thing maybe for you in sales and with vehicles. Like you sell yourself. People believe in you. They know the car is gonna do. They know that they're gonna need to do oil changes and get the tires checked and put
Well, if
gas.
it's new, they can get the same one probably down the street.
Exactly.
Right. So
That's another thing
why
too.
are they coming to me?
Exactly. Probably for cheaper as well. So, but people are willing to pay for great service. They are willing to pay in people that they believe in.
Yes.
And I think that's the great thing about sales. And I think that's one of the things that made me extremely successful in it was that like people bought me. It wasn't necessarily insurance. They bought me. And I think that helped me too was just being able to communicate with people. Like you learn how to talk to a variety of people.
Yeah, it's fun. It'll challenge you.
Exactly.
It'll challenge you as a person.
It does. It does.
To grow.
To grow.
Yeah.
Really to grow.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
love that about it. What about you?
Oh yeah, that's what I ended up loving about the car business. So jewelry was so redundant. It's the same conversation over and over again. I got engaged. Yay.
Right.
1 carat princess cut. Yay.
Same thing over and over.
Every person just walked in and asked for the same thing.
Yep.
And it's fun. It's exciting. But car sales is so different because there really is hardly ever two scenarios that are the same, right? Each buyer comes in and they have different needs. They have different backgrounds.
Different circumstances.
Yeah. So I love the mental challenge there of how can I help you as an individual, right? Because I come equipped with the same set of information, right? When it comes to car sales. But when I've got a woman who's 20-something years old, who still lives at home with her family,
Right.
who's got, a decent paying job, but hasn't really paid rent or had any bills, versus a man who's 65 years old. He's a farmer, grew up on the farm, has made several purchases throughout his life, homes, vehicles, farm equipment, things like this. The information that I'm going to give to him and say to him is going to be different than what I might say to this 20-year-old woman.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because even just if I talk about where you're at with your car payments, I'm going to have a very direct conversation with the 65-year-old man who knows his shit because he's lived life.
And he's done it and he's got it together. He's got it all together.
Yeah.
I swear. He comes in and tells you how
He
to
knows
do
what
your
he
job.
wants. Yeah.
This is how you, I used to love those type of customers.
Me too. I do.
I really did.
I do. But I love it all.
I do
love
too,
it
yeah.
all.
I love the ones
So-
I need to educate and teach and
Yeah.
So you the person that like get the credit score and stuff like that?
what you mean?
Like work
Yeah.
with the credit score to get the best deal?
Oh,
So what they'll do is
the banks.
the aspect with me
Yeah.
is obviously they're going to fill out once they're, hey, yeah, that's the car I want, or I made the decision I'm going to buy a car. They're going to fill out a credit application, to which then I'll go to one of my sales managers and they'll input that, run the credit is going to be the first step. They're going to check the credit to see where they're at.
Okay.
But then the managers and the finance team, those are the ones who are going to deal directly with the bank. Now I'm going to sit there and have a conversation
Right.
about what these approvals are looking like and things like that, and then convey that information
Right,
to
exactly.
my customer.
And that's where your charisma and your
Yeah.
communication skills come into place.
Yes, exactly. Knowing how to convey that information to the person in front
Exactly.
of me, so that they can not only understand it but be receptive to it.
Exactly.
Do you see like a gap or anything between blacks and whites? Like,
Boy, don't even. Yeah, you want to open up that conversation?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How so? And what are those?
Absolutely.
The differences?
So maybe not exactly what you think. Like I don't want to make y'all think that if black people are coming in to buy a car, they're getting treated differently. I have not personally seen
Okay.
where and obviously now that y'all are getting to know me,
right? No, I'm saying like as
If
credit.
you've seen
wise.
it, you would.
Right. I would say- I would call it
exactly.
out.
Right.
Credit wise. Okay, so that's a big topic for me because I feel that there is a disadvantage credit wise within. All of us. I'm disadvantaged in this area too, even though I grew up with a family that was financially stable and well off.
Right.
Your credit scoring system, FICO scoring system, was it was developed years prior, but came out in 1989, right? So this scoring system that got set into play, our parents weren't taught it, right? Because it was 1989. Now by 1989, I'm already 7 years old.
Right.
Right.
So it didn't. My parents did not
Even know what
about
it
the scoring
was. Yeah,
system.
what
They
is it?
weren't informed.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, well-to-do financially, but not informed on these scoring systems that
Right.
are going to dictate now our futures
Right.
about getting auto loans, right,
Home
and so many
loans,
other things.
business loans.
Yeah, exactly. So now if my parents weren't educated and they're doing fine and they have no reason to question about this scoring system that comes out in 1989, they have no
Yeah.
reason to question, hey, does my child need to learn about this in the school system?
Right.
They didn't need to. And quite frankly,
But that's also, like you mentioned, where your disadvantage comes from because you also weren't hip to what was going on and maybe
Right,
made some
yeah.
mistakes
Yeah.
and learned the hard way.
Exactly.
And what this was. Okay, so
Yeah.
speak on your experience with it, but also the disadvantages that you see based on the community that people come from.
Well, so I was out there at 19 years old trying to learn by trial and error because nobody taught me because my parents weren't taught.
Exactly.
Right.
So nobody taught me. So I was 19 years old, living out by the Chicago suburbs, living on my own, working 3 jobs. My car broke down, and naturally, what are you going to go do? You're going to go to a car dealership and try to buy a car.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I'm like, I got 3 jobs. I'm making good money.
Right.
Yep.
I'm a hard worker. I'm
You
making
better
good
be
money.
working through jobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit.
So I'm like, hey, my car broke down. I go up to this dealership. I want to buy a car. And, they do the preliminary information like I'll do. They'll start collecting my, name, birth date, social, all of this. And they check my credit and they say, well, you don't have any credit. And I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean? What are you talking about? What's credit?
I said the same thing. I said the same thing.
That's what most folks say. And
Yeah, 'cause-
unfortunately, when they learning
At that
about
age,
it,
you don't know. You know what I mean?
They laughed at me. They laughed at me. I'll never forget it. I felt so stupid. And they didn't clue me in. They didn't
oh
ask.
wow, that's bogus.
Right?
At least tell you what you don't
Yeah.
know.
that you know, yeah.
But that's a little controversial topic. Is it the car salesperson's responsibility to educate you on credit?
Ooh, you got an opinion?
Commission only. I get paid when I sell you a car.
But see,
Right.
so my answer to that, you're right. But see, that's when the integrity part of it comes in again because, yeah, your job is to make money for yourself and for the business. But as a human being, you help people. Why wouldn't
Sure.
you, especially if you know the information, why
Sure.
wouldn't you put it? And
Right.
expect you're trained to talk to people in a way, like you said, you're trained to convey a message.
Right.
And I'm so on the same page with you, but keep in mind, there's a scoring system in play that nobody's been educated on.
Yeah.
So how exactly is that car salesperson supposed to educate me on a FICO credit scoring system that they've never been educated on? They're not the authority. Yeah, they might have a little bit, like me now that I'm in the business, right? I've learned so much, but I'm still not the authority.
Right.
I'm still not going to be what we need to see in society.
Right.
is the true source of education for these scoring systems that dictate so much of our lives.
Say it again.
Right.
So we need their. I'm happy that it falls on my shoulders, right, to help people because I do care,
Right.
and I do want to help them understand where they're at credit wise. I don't ever want someone to feel the way I felt when those guys laughed at me and didn't do nothing for me and didn't help me, and my situation stayed the same until I left crying and called it my uncle and said, I don't know what to do. He said, oh, well, I've got good credit. I could co-sign for you.
Wow.
I said, well,
Just like that.
Yeah.
but I didn't even know what a co-signer was. I was like, well, what is that? He's like, I'm going to go on the loan with you to help you out so you can get a car.
Coco, can I tell you something real quick? I don't mean to cut you off,
No,
but it's a vastly different conversation. That phone call when you're a young person, your car break down and you're a young person and you go to the dealership to buy a vehicle and they say, oh, well, you don't have credit and you don't know what credit is, and they laugh at you and you leave crying and you call a family member. This is what all young people do, regardless of your race, your background, whatever. We call people who we trust and believe has our best interest in mind. And the conversation that you had was, oh, well, I have good credit. I'll go along with you. The conversation I had and the conversation that most people like me have is, oh, I also have fucked up credit and I can't go on
Right.
along with you. Don't even ask me that because I hope you're not calling me to ask me that. Like, I pray you are not calling me to ask to go on
Or
along
if
with
they
you.
do got good credit, I'm not doing that.
I'm
shit.
still not. I'm not doing that. We have people in our community who older people, elders who have built their lives up and built themselves up to have good credit, but they still will. Hell no, I'm not going on along with you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So you know what that
I've
young
seen
person does?
I've seen it.
I know you have, exactly.
Yeah.
You probably had some young people sitting there crying because
Yep.
people have
Yep.
told them like, I'm not doing that for you,
Yep.
even though it means that much to you. And I understand how is you really need it, but I'm not doing that for you.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It is, and I absolutely hate seeing it. But here's the flip side of it. Don't let that fuck up your mental.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that maybe one time you got rejected fuck up your mental.
Right.
Because I've had people sitting across from me who go, I already know no one's going to help me.
Yeah.
I already know.
I'm not even gonna call.
Guess what? I'm here to challenge that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it happen so many times where I'm like, please, just reach out and ask someone for help. And they pick up a phone. So Dante, he was the one that I absolutely loved. The guy sat in front of me, so desperately needed a car. And told me repeatedly, no one's going to help me, right? And credit-wise, we weren't getting him approved.
Right.
We weren't. So he stayed persistent. He kept picking up the phone despite having this mental thing that nobody's going to be there for me.
Right.
And the first 2 or 3 phone calls were legit, hell no.
Exactly.
Hell no, I can't help you. My credit sucks, or I don't want to.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
5 phone calls in, though, 2 people are saying, hell yeah, I want to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to help you. Like, that was the vibe.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
And so
dope.
that should be the takeaway is, actually, there's more people out there who are rooting for you and want to help you than you want to believe.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that you know of.
Don't let negative situations that maybe have happened dictate your whole mental that no one's there to have your back.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because I agree absolutely with what you're saying. Yes, I have seen it several times where people are sitting in front of me, nobody's gonna help me. They do make the phone calls and everybody's like, no, my credit's fucked up.
That's
I can't,
so
I don't want.
discouraging.
It is discouraging. It is discouraging. But I'm here to tell you there are a lot of good stories. There are a lot of good success stories out there too. So we gotta focus on that.
Can you talk to the actual person? Like, for instance, if you're that person who don't have the help, what can that person do to pick themselves up and get themselves in a position so where you don't need the help? What can that person do? What are some tips for that person? Like, for instance, if you're sitting there and you don't have the things you need to get
you've got to
approved.
start educating yourself on the credit scoring system, FICO. So one of the biggest things, please stop going to Credit Karma.
Really?
I don't want to get sued, okay, by Credit Karma. So let me, first of all, Credit Karma serves a great purpose if you want to stay informed on where you're at, what's on your report,
They
right?
say it's not accurate though.
Okay, so here's why it's not accurate. It's a different scoring model than what auto lenders are using to decide whether to give you a loan.
That makes sense.
So that's not even the scoring model that lenders are using to get your credit score.
It's like you in school and you're studying for a math test, but the test is actually on history. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like you're studying the system and the model that's not even what's really even being used for the test.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So where you want to go, this is what I've personally found is a good resource. And again, I'm not the authority. It's just personal experience of what I found. myfico.com. Okay, so when you go there, you do have to purchase.
Yeah.
They've got a free one, but if you really want the full picture, you have to purchase it.
And I call that investing in yourself. But
Yes.
continue. That's what
Good-
it is.
good point.
You're investing in yourself, so
Yes.
pay it.
Yes.
Seriously.
Because like you said, going to that person who's sitting there like, I don't even know what to do. These are your resources, so you can understand. I became obsessed with my credit when I wanted to buy a house, and I was told, "Oh, you don't qualify," and I was like, "Excuse me, what scoring model are you using?"
Yeah.
So I can understand. And then I found myfico.com, so it's going to show you. So we all know that hopefully we all know that there's 3 different credit bureaus.
Yep.
Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
Yep.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand is that within those credit bureaus are scoring models that are different depending on what you're looking for. There's a scoring model for credit cards. There's a scoring model for auto loans, and there's scoring models for home loans.
Gotcha.
So you really need to understand how lenders are viewing you on these different scoring models, how you're ranking,
Right.
and what's affecting that.
So if we come to Group Automotive and we talk to COCO about a car, and I'm thinking that I'm coming in, if the scoring model that I'm looking at is giving me a credit score based on my history with home loans, and I think I got a great score, that may not actually be the thing that's going to determine what I get
It's not
on
the
an
same
auto
scoring
loan,
model.
right?
Right,
Because
right.
because the group wants to know how have I been doing, of course, overall and in general, but specifically how has this person done with auto loans?
Yeah, very true.
Okay.
And Lou Back Road is where I'm at now, by the way.
Oh, you're not a-
Lou Back Road, yeah. It was previously. You're correct. It was previously.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all good.
Yep.
But yeah, so you're correct, right? So there's different scoring models. Now, if you've got a home loan, I mean, credit card, right, is your
Right.
first step. Auto loan and home loan. Typically, those are the orders in which you're progressing.
You're right, exactly.
In loan size.
Can you say that again?
Right.
What's
so
the
your
order?
credit card first, because you're usually starting off with maybe a $300, $500, or $1,000 loan,
Right.
where you're seeing, okay, you're proving how you can handle this amount of debt, and that should be the base. Y'all, please, please, please! I have seen so much misinformation from people sitting in front of me who want to buy cars, but we're told don't get a credit card. How do you prove that you are capable of paying back some debt
Right.
on $10,000?
Right.
Yeah.
When you didn't even take the time to prove it, you could pay it back on $300.
Right.
That's a cheat code.
Thank
Chico.
you, right there, right
That is.
there. Because how the evil white man's fucking with your mental.
Right,
He's
right.
out here telling you, "Ooh, don't get those credit cards. Oh, you're just gonna max them out.
Right.
You're just gonna max them out. You have no self control. You have no self control. You're gonna max them out. No, you don't know what to do with that.
Right.
Little devil
Yep.
on your shoulder.
Fucking system is against
the fucking
us.
system.
Yep.
It's a
fucking
fucking setup.
system.
Because either way, they win. Right? These systems that they've set into place, they're not for us to succeed. They're for them. They're for them to
To
succeed.
win no matter what.
Yeah, these banks.
Yeah, that's what I.
To
These
win no matter
banks?
what.
That's what I said.
It's for them to
for them.
succeed. So there's one way that they fuck with your mental. Ooh, don't get that credit card. Okay. Or think about what they've also said to you subliminally. Everyone out here is maxing out their credit cards. They don't know what they can't handle it. Our advertising is telling us to buy everything. Our marketing is telling us in order to have a happy, successful life, we need to have these things, spend outside of our budget. So subliminal messaging, if on one hand I'm giving you information, because again, I've seen so many people sit in front of me and be like, oh, no, my family told me, no, don't get a credit card. You're going to fuck up your credit. Don't get a credit card.
That's what I was told.
Because you're going to max it out.
Yep.
Oh, but at the same time, the messaging being sent to you is, oh, but if I want to have those nice things that they're having over there, I could get a credit card. I could get a credit card and go get all those nice things.
I see what you're saying with the
Get all those nice things.
mixed messages are
Yeah.
really fucking your head up.
Yep.
It's really fucking your head up.
Yep. So either way, they win.
Right.
So they win if you decide to go max out, get some credit cards. Because now you're like, ooh, so that's what other people
Yep.
are doing?
Yep.
Ooh, they're maxing out their credit cards and
Yep.
they got those nice things because, ooh, I got
Yep.
approved.
Yep.
Okay, so now they're messing up that way. You are. Okay. But the other way that they're winning, that the system is winning, is when you believe and you buy into, and this is my personal opinion, don't get a credit card. You are not establishing any type of credit score history without starting somewhere, and you gotta start somewhere. Because if you think you can play in this system that they've set up, or try to not play in it, you're paying fees at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah,
paying
yep.
fees.
Interest, late fees, return check fees,
Everything.
your car notes, you paying it.
You're paying
You're
it.
paying.
You're paying it. And here's the shame of it all, because they're banking on your ignorance.
That's exactly what it is. That's why I brought up the late payments and the return check fees and the interest that's out the ass on them credit cards. But
that's crazy.
But just in general, but
Credit card's okay.
crazy.
Pay your tuition fees on a credit card. It's a small amount. You're gonna have to pay your tuition fees some way, right?
Yep.
But think about this. So if you try to sit out the credit game, like, I'm not gonna start with credit cards. I don't want to fuck up credit. I'm gonna sit out of this.
Yep.
You are in insurance.
yeah,
Tell me they're not checking your credit
absolutely,
and charging you more if
They
you have
do.
no credit or bad credit.
1,000%.
You're paying those fees. If you're driving a car and got car insurance, you're paying those fees.
And you're gonna pay a higher premium because you
Yep.
don't have anything for us to really judge you on. So you're gonna
Yep.
pay more anyway.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
already paying more.
You want to sit out the game and think that you're gonna avoid this all? Oh, okay, we'll get you.
They will get you.
Yeah,
that's
we'll,
crazy.
we'll get
They
you
will
with
get
higher
you.
premiums.
How else
We'll
do you
get you in
need
the
credit?
end. We'll get you later on.
Right.
What you need credit to access necessities.
Yep.
You come out into the real world. You're 18 years old, just graduated high school, or you're just graduating college, and you need that apartment. You need that roof over your head. They're checking your credit.
Yep.
You might have to pay a bigger down payment because your credit didn't check out. You have none,
Mortgage insurance.
right? That. But what about utilities?
Yep.
You got to put a deposit down if
Yeah.
you have bad credit or no credit. You are paying to be in this game whether you like it or not. So start
Right.
learning how to
There
play
you
the
go.
game.
Cheat code.
Chico.
Cheat code.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sitting out that you sitting out don't. What we used to say all the time in my fraternity. We say, running from it will not save you.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. Running from it won't save you. You know what I mean? You got to run towards it, and you got to play the game. You just play it strategically and smart, and with some discipline. And I think,
Yeah.
and give it time and be patient. You win.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I want to take it one step further
Please
because of what I've seen in the car business and trying to help people. Is I've drawn the conclusion that there's a serious breakdown in society in our educational systems.
Right.
Okay.
We need to start asking questions. Why is this not being taught to our children in the schools?
That's an age old question, though. You think? Like, don't you think?
I don't know. I hear myself asking it all the time.
Me too.
Like,
Yeah.
why are they not teaching our children? So I feel like we need to start speaking up more.
Yeah.
We need to start asking more questions to the educational systems. And I spoke on it at a school board meeting a few months ago.
How'd it go?
It was interesting. So
In Rockford.
How'd it go?
yeah, I did see that one of the women from the school board had made some notes when I said we need to be educating our children on the credit. You know,
Right.
it's so instrumental to their future. So I saw that they made some notes. You know, who knows if that goes anywhere? But my plan is to keep speaking up. I'm going to go to another school board
Right.
meeting and bring it up again and bring
Right.
it up again. I'm going to be that squeaky wheel who says this isn't right. Y'all aren't setting up our kids for success. You didn't set me up for success. This scoring system, FICO system, was designed to protect the banks.
Right.
It's designed for them.
Yeah.
They're winning. They're winning. And so they're supposed to assess, you know, how risky you are to give a loan to,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
poor them, they might
Yeah.
have to risk a few $1,000s out of their millions.
Exactly. Billions.
Billions, yeah,
Yeah,
thank
exactly,
you.
yeah.
Boo hoo hoo, cry me a river.
Right.
Right? But they've rigged the system because this FICO scoring system was developed by there's two gentlemen who developed it. I forget it's
Me too. I forget their names.
So it's Fair Isaac Corporation.
Fair Isaac, yep.
Yeah. So again,
Yep.
I've only done some light digging, but it
Yep.
was developed by these gentlemen.
Yep.
When I say like early 50s, but it wasn't launched till 1989. Okay.
Right.
So these two gentlemen who developed this scoring system, it's based on algorithms, right? To assess
The
this
risk.
person's creditworthiness and their risk.
Creditworthiness and risk. Yep.
Yeah.
I want to question that. What were these two men's mentality when they developed the program that now dictates my financial success and
Yeah.
the future success of my
Yeah.
child?
Yeah.
What was their mentality? What kind of algorithms did they enter?
And who are they to even say that this
Yeah.
is the way that everybody's future is going to be determined?
Right.
Who
Right.
are you to say that for everybody? Like, but continue, please.
Yeah, exactly. Who are they? Because times have changed. Things are
Yeah,
not what they
definitely.
were in the 50s and even
Right.
the 80s. Times have changed.
Right.
So how is, and I'm just putting questions out there because again, I'm not the authority. I don't
Right.
know. I'm just questioning
Questioning
that
these
these
things.
systems were developed.
Yeah.
Decades ago. They dictate so much of our financial future, and nobody's cluing us in where we need to be clued in, and that is in middle school, high school, because y'all are out here teaching our children math, science, global studies,
Right.
but where's the real world practical application of that reading and writing skill that I need them to apply to the life skills such as credit and figuring out the financial game and how to get it to
Right.
win in their
Yeah.
favor
Yeah.
so they can succeed in life and
Yeah,
provide for their families because they're eventually going to need the electricity turned on, a roof over their head, a car to get back and forth to work, to that job, to pay their bills.
And if you have a hope and a dream to create your own business as an entrepreneur, you still need credit for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
literally,
your whole life is dependent on it in a way.
It
Damn
is.
near, yeah.
It's dependent
It
on it.
is.
Yeah. I mean, if you plan on having a normal life, I hate to say normal because ain't no life normal, but if you plan on having, like, if you don't plan on being wild and unique, which we got our people on this planet and in this world that are the outliers, right? Like the celebrities and the people that do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that really is like, okay, that sets you apart.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be in the masses of the people and still have a good life for yourself and for your family, you have, like, these are critical things that you have to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the cheat code that they got. And
Yeah.
right now, the cheat code is just asking, where's the cheat code?
Yeah. That's deep.
We just need to start asking, where's the cheat code?
Damn.
And demanding it for our children.
Coco, I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that because she just hit on
Yeah, I
like,
know. Yeah.
the cheat code is asking,
Where the cheat code?
where's the fucking cheat code?
Yeah.
It starts there. We got to start opening up the conversations to the people that can help us figure that out.
For sure.
Because again, I'm not the authority, but I bet within this community there are plenty of people who can come together and join
And figure it out.
and figure it out.
Because like you said, like these two guys that started this whole, like they can't be that much smarter than folks. And if you got two guys that created this whole system, what could 20 people do?
Right.
Yeah.
In terms
Yeah.
of studying the system, learning
Yeah.
the system, applying the skills necessary to master it. Like, what really could 20 people do, or
Yeah.
200 people, or whatever? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
You could really change the whole game
That's
up.
the challenge to Rockford school systems. I'm going to put it out there.
Right.
Okay, that's the challenge to them. They sat in that meeting that I attended and they said, how can we help the children? How can we make sure we're setting them up for success
Right.
beyond school? Like, how are our children in our community going to thrive?
Right.
Start paving the path for them to be set up financially successful in having the information and access to it.
Right.
Now, what they choose to do with it is on them,
Right.
but at least they have
Yep.
access to it and being taught to understand at a time and age when they can really grasp it.
Right.
Not at 30, 40, 50 years old when you're like, shit, wait, what?
Yep.
How does this
Right.
math work again?
Yep.
Right.
How is this all working again?
Before we wrap up, can I ask you another question? I
Yeah.
want to make sure, if bro got more questions for you, he asks them. But do you think after a certain age, people will get like stuck in their ways, or do you think?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So? How do you fight against that? Because we all need to continuously grow, and you might learn information later on in life that's still beneficial to you. And I think regardless of where you at age-wise, you can still take information and learn from it and become who you need to be. So how do you fight against allowing?
Complacency?
Yeah, how do you fight against that?
Yeah, I think you had spoken on it in one of the podcasts. That you have to want to. I think you even said to some degree, like even when the lights got shut out, you were like,
I know what episode you're talking about.
And she be wild.
She do. I know exactly what episode you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you. There's no growing if you don't want to.
Right.
You can't force anyone. At some point in life, I think I started looking back and saying like, okay, if I'm feeling this way and it's negative and it's unhappy and it's this, what led to that? How do I fix it? How do I not let that be who I am? How do I grow? How do I learn from my mistakes to have better relationships, healthier relationships? Because the more I grow, the healthier my relationships can be. And then keep in mind that I'm always trying to think about the example I'm setting for my child.
Right. Yeah.
So if I'm in a bad place, which I have been. I have been depressed. Life can really suck.
Right.
So she's seen me like that, right?
Right.
So how do I show her that despite these challenges, despite these crappy feelings, how do we navigate through it to become healthy people?
Right.
So I hope that I'm setting that example for her of, yes, we all make mistakes. We can get down, we can get low. How do we overcome that? Be better people, and we have to acknowledge and take accountability for our faults.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Accountability.
changes.
Real quick, why do women have a problem with accountability?
See, don't generalize.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm sorry.
some women do,
Okay.
right? But not all women.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, do women have a problem with accountability? I guess that's a perspective I haven't thought about because they're just. For me, I'm a very self-aware person.
That's the thing, I think.
I'm a very but it's painful.
It is.
It's painful to be self-aware and stare your faults down. Sometimes I don't want to.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what some women are feeling. I don't want to.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Now I feel insecure.
I think as men, though, we are like built to always be that way, though.
Yeah.
I can't really explain.
Especially if you play sports and stuff.
If you play sports, or if you I think if you take your life serious, and I think if you understand what your role is as a man, and this again is just my opinion, but I think your role is to really get people into place and into a position to win. And that's so I think we are forced to not only you gotta be accountable, because I believe that as a man, like speaking in terms of like the household and my family, I feel responsible for everything that happens, not only to me, but what happens in my wife's life, what happens in my kids' life. I feel responsible for that. I feel responsible for what happens into my mom, like at a certain age. As a man, like I feel like it's my responsibility to get her into a better situation. So I feel responsible for that. So I think we are always reminded of the responsibility, and that keeps us reminded of the accountability that we have to have, because you carrying a lot of you making a lot of decisions for a lot of people, and
there's a lot of weight on your shoulders when you put it like that. Yeah,
so.
that's a perspective I didn't.
And before we leave, I would say to make your brand even bigger, try to create a group for people to come to you and ask for these financial cheat codes that you have mentally that we don't know.
Okay. I like
you
that.
can talk on the credit that has nothing to do with your auto sales.
Yeah, your auto
and
sales.
You get auto sales simply because.
And then that also helps your entrepreneurship too. Because like I said, if you had a group that I could subscribe to or
I would
even pay for, I would, because
like everything you just said on this podcast, I would come to you and hear your information.
Yes.
Like you could go home tonight with your daughter and sit down, draw up some note cards, and write down everything you know.
Before you come see me, do this verse.
Yeah, before you come to my establishment,
do this verse.
Yeah.
Just join my group, and I'm gonna give you the rundown
on how to come to me,
because then that way you don't even got to go to the school district no more.
Yeah,
They could come to you.
You become the authority, like you were saying. You become the authority.
Yep. So then that even helps you financially, and it helps you. With the car, the sales, and all that, and then people gonna wonder like, damn, why she getting all these sales? Because I'm out here helping the community.
I care.
And I care, and I want people to know about the FICO and how the system is fucked up.
You know what people gonna do? Hey, they ain't gonna be no more trying to talk you down. They gonna come, and then I think you're gonna win more sales too, because
and people gonna love you personally. They gonna love you personally. Yeah.
And you don't waste as much time with people who's not gonna qualify.
Yeah.
You eliminate that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Should we delete this because it might be some sale niggas go?
Nah,
take
this all stays on.
Because I don't want them to take her idea that we just gave her.
Nah, but see, that's the thing too.
You know what? Good.
With your
Good,
episode though,
please.
it's gonna
Please,
be
the more
some
the
weeks though
merrier.
before it
Help
comes out.
people.
So you have some time.
You have some time to develop.
You have some time to sit with this information
Yeah.
before it goes out. So it's gonna be like at least 3 or maybe 4
But
weeks.
I believe people will come to you because how we just said we down there teared up.
Yeah.
People will love this
You are
information
so
that you
genuine and down to earth.
Thank you.
you got a mind that people need.
And I want to listen to you.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
cool. Oh my God, thank you so
Like
much.
a
That's
Facebook
awesome.
group or something that
She got that. Yeah, her
Yeah,
Facebook
like I
be
said.
going crazy. She do a
And-
lot on Facebook.
And I don't want you to give it for free. Have people pay you for that because
Yeah.
just think about this. It's people like us that don't know the Chicos that you know.
Okay.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
And in order for take time out your day, like for this podcast, we so grateful for.
Thank you.
I don't want people taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think you and your daughter should sit down tonight and really think about
Wow,
starting
that's
something up.
awesome. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got a lot to think about.
Yeah, that's just my, my mind be going.
Yeah.
You know how my mind.
See that?
is.
You guys are awesome. Thank you
Coco,
so
you
much.
are
for,
more awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah, thank you.
We're gonna need a part 2.
Yeah, definitely.
We say that every
And
night.
if we can, because I want to sit down with your mom and pops if they still alive.
Yeah.
I want to get to know their mindset
Would
of
they be
raising
willing
you.
to come on a podcast?
Oh my God, that's
Or
crazy.
they be willing
even
to?
if we come to your
That's cool.
like a
Yeah, we'll come to
dinner or
y'all.
something,
Oh my gosh.
and we want to sit down with their mindset because you got to think to raise this person to have that mindset and to avoid racism from entering
Yeah.
your brain.
Yes.
yeah.
We would love to sit down with somebody
Wow.
like that.
That'd be
Facts.
cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Facts. Like I said, we'll do like a dinner. We'll set it up.
My dad is a character. Y'all
We'll
don't know what
talk.
y'all asked for.
Yeah,
You
talk.
don't know.
We would love it. We would love it.
And hopefully we come across as good dudes. Like we really try to like,
Yeah.
like
Oh
we
my
really
God,
are
yes.
like good
You guys
dudes.
are awesome.
Yeah.
Like
we
I
good
knew when I
dudes.
watched the clips.
Yeah, we trying
the
to.
vibe was like
Yeah.
we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We trying to help the community. So yeah,
That,
that's
that
one thing
is
you wanna do.
awesome.
yeah, definitely.
All right, well,
So
part 2 on the way.
yeah, definitely. It's your boy Naughty G.
It's your boy King Rob.
Yeah,
It's
thank
the
you for
one and
tuning
only.
in.
Thanks, guys.
Coco.
See Coco the car queen.
Yeah, come see her. Well,
Hey,
hold on. Where
one
can
more
they find you
one
at
more
one more
drop.
time?
Yeah.
And Lou Back Road.
Lou Back
Give them
Road.
an address. What's the
Yeah.
website? Is the Facebook page? How can they
So you
find
can
you?
go to my Facebook page, Coco the Car Queen. I'm on
Okay.
Facebook and TikTok.
Okay,
Yeah.
definitely.
Coco the Car Queen.
Coco
the Car Queen.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
See me, you'll be treated like royalty.
Yeah, hey, I like that.
No, she's serious.
Definitely.
Like
Yep.
she's
These
serious.
are your gifts.
She's serious
Definitely.
about
Yep.
it. Straight royalty.
We appreciate
It's
it.
your boy King Rob.
It's your boy Naughty G.
We out.